Hello everybody. I was hacked or my information was stolen in some way. My personal documents and my personal email with my phone number and other private information was put right online for everybody to see, and that was a really devastating experience, of course. I've reported this violation to the FBI. So who am I quickly? I was born in BCC. I experienced an incredible amount of abuse about the individuals. This is about the leadership and about the corrupt system of abuse that takes place and the lack of ability of outsiders to criticize. The reason today that I'm talking about this story is because I'm a writer and a filmmaker, and I decided to write down my story for my own personal healing. And also, as I was going along, so many things started becoming revealed and coming to light. And next thing you know, I was placed as some kind of a person who is against BCC, which really just means that I'm not for it, because you're not allowed to have any other opinions, so it turns into these accusations that go back and forth, which is very cult-like. What's next on the timeline? A documentary. NRK, the top state-owned broadcast system in Norway, examining the financial situation in BCC. These two journalists have been following the trail of Cora Smith and Bernt Aksel Smith, who were listed as two of the richest men in Norway in 2016, for the last year straight. What do I think BCC leaders are desperately trying to do at the last minute? Try to discredit everybody ever involved in criticizing them, starting at the bottom with someone like me, and somehow trying to connect us all the way up to the top with NRK. I'm going to say a word about Jonathan van der Linden. Who is JVL? That's the thing on the report. Jonathan van der Linden worked very closely as an accountant or something at a very top level with Cora Smith and Bernt Aksel Smith. He met a escort who he fell in love with, and decided to leave his wife and steal equivalent of 8 million euros at the same time. He stole about 2,000 emails at the same, or more, at the same time that were between him and the main leaders to use as blackmail. He assumed they would leave him alone because they have so much to hide. However, they're so used to like running the show, getting their way, being, gods on earth, basically, however much the members want to say that's not true. We all know it is. They, in my opinion, he thought they would leave him alone, and they didn't. So there's been a court case going on to get their money back for years. So Jonathan van der Linden has a lot of information. So anybody who talks to him or works with him is not necessarily a criminal. They are somebody who is just getting information. That's how journalism works. That's how news works. That's how research works. That's what the courts are doing when they talk to him. And eventually, Jonathan is going to be punished for the completely crappy, illegal, pathetic thing he did, just as he's probably doing the same thing as the leaders. Where did he get the sense of license to do that? Why did he have access to all that money? And why was he even like, what's this escort culture around here? Why is Bernt Aksel Smith accusing prostitutes of doing something a few years ago, but now he's blaming people like in the Psy group for attacking him? I can't remember what it is. And then he's also had like all of his, like several fires where all of this important information burned, and he's the victim. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, people. But anyway, so that is my opinion, BCC's goal, and they're trying to connect us all and act like they're threatened. So they're doing everything they can to stop the documentary because it's going to have some damning evidence, and I think that that's what they're afraid of. This is all just about protecting the leaders, and then they can call anything that does not praise them fake news, because they've managed to draw these nebulous links between a Psy group operation and a criminal, Jonathan van der Linden, and therefore that means that nothing is true. That's not how that works. It's not either or. This isn't a big conspiracy. This is just like, I mean, the guy's sitting on emails. The court's going to be looking at those. NRK is going to be looking at those. They're journalists. They're the most professional journalists in Norway. They're going to back up everything 1,000,000 times over. And why do you think Bernt suddenly put out this fear-based attack thing about that happened years ago? That sounds like somebody from New Zealand on her Facebook page. She said, "I'd love to interview with NRK and represent my wonderful BCC community, but I cannot because I am in danger." Again, there is no connection. You could Zoom with them. in your house. Are you not Zooming these days because you're in danger? You could release a statement, but that puts you in danger. You could go see them in their building with like protection. You could have them come to your house. So that's not true, in my opinion. It seems to me that she does not want to get herself into any kind of hot water with perjury by denying anything or addressing anything that is proof that these journalists are bringing forward. If she's in danger, and people are threatening her, I'm sorry. Same with us. We're being hacked. By the way, when I talk about fake news and all of these things, what does that remind you of? The Trump administration. Who was the Trump administration proven to be working with among many other groups? Psy Group. In that New Yorker article, they said that Mossad agents were associated with the Trump campaign. It's the same playbook. This is so obvious. So doesn't this all just sound like exactly the same kind of like formula? Sounds like a miniature version of the same things that are happening in America today with fake news and slander and crying religious freedom if anybody has anything to say that you don't like. On August 13th, I was contacted by somebody in the church pretending to want to have an open dialogue with me. I believe that was how I was hacked. I will tell you more in a moment. Also on August 13th, I have been told that Jonathan van der Linden was approached in Amsterdam and offered $100,000 or $200,000 bribe to hand over his external hard drive. And then on August 14th, I also know or have been told that Ben Van Weege, who's also included on this JVL report, was attacked in his home with his wife and daughter and his laptop stolen. He got a photo of the Audi as it drove off. The police caught them hours later, and they are sitting in a jail in Amsterdam waiting for a court hearing in November, and they refuse to say who they work for. So all of this is taking place at the same time. So we're the ones being attacked, honestly. All we were doing before was trying to expose facts about finances and about personal stories.